This bonus episode of New Politics was released on the 21st of November, 2025, and produced on the lands of the Wangal and Gadigal people.
The UNSC, United Nations Security Council, has voted in favour of a US drafted resolution which endorses Donald Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza. It's included in the plan is the establishment of an international stabilisation force, ISF, and a path to a future Palestinian state. Trump posted on social media that the vote, which he said acknowledges and endorses the Board of Peace chaired by him, will go down as one of the biggest approvals in the history of the UN. He said that it will lead to further peace all over the world.
The UN Security Council has voted on the creation of an international stabilisation force for Gaza, and 13 member states voted in favour, and China and Russia abstained, calling it a colonial plan sidelining the rights of Palestinians, and it's a plan that gives the United States virtually carte blanche to do whatever they want in Gaza. So that's the main criticism from Russia and China. There is a so-called Board of Peace that's going to be chaired by US President Donald Trump until 2027. That should give all the corrupt supporters of the Trump administration clear access to also do whatever they want in Gaza. And David, we've always maintained that peace is better than war. And if you don't think otherwise, you got rocks in your head, but that's the way that the world should be. And that anything that reduces killing in a conflict has to be welcome. But the killing hasn't really stopped in Gaza. Israel breaks a ceasefire virtually every day, and an unjust solution is going to set up further conflicts in the future. There's absolutely no question about that. And this plan doesn't really create a clear pathway to a lasting peace. The promise of Palestinian statehood is buried in vague language and tied to conditions that could take years for the Palestinian statehood. And it also contains a long list of proposed reforms to the Palestinian Authority, the reconstruction of Gaza, and assorted benchmarks that give enormous leverage to the United States. And Western governments, including Australia, have welcomed this plan, but the Palestinians themselves have had virtually nothing at all to say about the design of any of this. And that's the basic contradiction within this plan. It's all engineered by outsiders. The United States has bullied a lot of regional players into accepting this plan. They'll probably end up being the ones to pay for the reconstruction for Gaza as well. All of these outside players. The people of Palestine have had nothing to do with the plan. So this seems to be an extension of the Israel settler colonial project that commenced in 1948 and even before that. And it's unlikely to create any pathway towards peace and justice.
This stuff doesn't get any better. Putting Donald Trump in charge of anything shows that it's already a bad idea. And we could stop there. Of course, with the mandated release of the Epstein files, Trump may not be around for much longer. But he won't be replaced by anybody better. I think that's fair to, not till the next election. I think that's fair to say. Hearing rumours that the Speaker of the House has gone, J.D. Vance, if he gets removed with Trump, which is some interpretations of the American Constitution say that that's what happens in these types of cases. I don't know who it will be, but it's not going to be anybody good. The situation is getting bleaker. It's clear that the US doesn't want a Palestinian state. They want an Israeli state, partly because it's better for their interests in the Middle East to have this friendly government right in the middle. And the gas in the Gaza Sea is very useful. And that take the gas and the oil away and no one wants these places. The Board of Peace sounds like something that...
Well, I think George Orwell wrote up that proposal.
Yeah. It sounds like at some point they were going to rip their masks off and it's going to be the Joker, the Riddler, Lex Luthor, Bane. Except these guys don't need masks. We know they're ridiculous criminals.
Oh, well, there's a whole lot of things going on within this plan. So Hamas has rejected the UN approval of this plan, and they've suggested that the whole plan is more about just getting rid of Palestinian resistance and solidifying Israeli control. And on that issue of demilitarising Hamas, every time this sort of thing has happened in history, it's been followed up by a massacre. That's the rule of all of this sort of stuff. We had Srebrenica in Bosnia in 1995, the Shatia massacre in Lebanon in 1982. It's also happened in Palestine with the PLO. All of these events that have happened in Gaza and the West Bank over the past 2 years, well, even before that, they've all happened because there hasn't been a balance of power in that area, and it's all heavily one-sided in favour of Israel. And Hamas believes that if what happened in Gaza over the past 2 years wasn't bad enough, it would be 50 times worse if they demilitarised without the same conditions, exactly the same conditions being placed on Israel. And the problem is the mandate for this proposed international security force. It's to secure borders, and for whom we don't know yet, but it's probably Israel. Demilitarisation, it's coordinating humanitarian relief, it's training a new Palestinian police force, and it's managing a phased Israeli withdrawal. And all of these objectives contradict each other. Israel wants indefinite security control and no Palestinian state. Hamas, well, they've rejected disarmament and refuses outside rule. The Palestinian Authority, they want to govern Gaza, but they've got no legitimacy there at all, and they survive entirely on foreign support. So all of this is a confused sort of situation. All of the objectives contradict each other, and maybe that's what the plan is. It's contradictory by design, and then the US can do whatever it wants, which again would favour Israel 100%, if not more, and that's what the biggest problem is.
And the other thing too is that this conflation of Hamas with Palestine. Hamas is a political movement. Not all Palestinians support it. A lot of Palestinians don't support it, and a lot of pro-Palestinian people have been anti-Hamas. So to blame Hamas and to conflate Hamas as part of Palestine shows, I think, a disingenuousness that is meant to confuse the more casual listener rather than give proper justification for what's happening.
Well, I was going to say that we just have to remember that this is Donald Trump that we're talking about. He's going to be the chair of the Board of Peace. And it's almost like what's happened over the past 2 years has been completely forgotten about. 70,000 people, mainly women and children, have been killed, and it's probably a lot more than that. 2 million people have been displaced, and that's almost the entire population of Gaza. And this is the sort of stuff that Stalin used to do in the Soviet Union in the 1940s, and the US is now supporting the same thing. And the basic point, David, we've always maintained this: stop the killing. That has to be the central issue. But then what comes next? Is it the political situation first, or the reconstruction? Or do you sort out all these basic issues such as clean water, food, and basic medical care, and then sort out the political situation? There's all these unexploded bombs in the region as well, thousands of them. There's ecocide, genocide. There's hardly any hospitals. 2,500 schools have been destroyed. There's all the trauma for all the children. And within this plan, there's no mention of the punishment of the state of Israel, or for the state of Israel. And they're the ones that have caused all of this. Other countries are now going to pick up the mess and pay for the reconstruction. You know, what price is the state of Israel going to pay? When is Benjamin Netanyahu going to face justice and go off to jail in The Hague? And when should all of this happen? Is it going to happen? These are a lot of questions that are unresolved. There's still many issues that need to be resolved, many questions that need to be answered. And I think this Board of Peace plan doesn't go anywhere near them. And that's the biggest problem of all.
The only people who want peace on the Board of Peace is the people who want peace at the cost of not having any discussion or resistance. It's an extremely terrible situation, and a situation that in 2025 we shouldn't find ourselves in. We learnt this lesson. We learnt it in the 30s. We learnt it in the 40s. We learnt it in the 60s with the bombing of Cambodia. We learnt it in the 70s with Kampuchea. We learnt it in the 90s with the Houthis and the Tutsis in Rwanda, and what happened in Zimbabwe. But again, we keep learning the same lessons and not heeding them. And the cliche of people are forced to repeat their history if they don't learn from it. We're doing it now. And of course, there's Palestinian massacres in all of those decades too. And of course, those perpetrating it are going to say, oh, no, you've overstepped the mark here. But the numbers say everything. The figures, the facts say it all. And it all goes down to it should never happen. And those who make it happen should be badly punished.
This is New Politics, available through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Audible and YouTube, and also available to support at Patreon, Substack, and at our website, newpolitics.com.au. The rest of the full episode of New Politics will continue tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening in.